This is something like my first dev blog, and just like to say that I'm a total fan of these Dark Souls video games, and something like the entire thing here, how something like everything is desperate, and there's something like poverty, and everything has gone to hell, and then so like how they are, so like they're very difficult, but there's a ton of stuff to learn, and you have to get really good. And my favorite video game right now is this Lords of the Fallen from Hexworks in Poland. It's amazing stuff. The trailers, the video game, the everything, the graphics, the entire idea, everything is totally brilliant. So this is like my first devlog, and I'm just a total fan of something like this. And then that I'm a fan of something like characters like Batman and sort of like some like Avengers and what we call them, but something like the Dark Crusader and someone that strikes from the shadows and so on. And I'm also a fan of something like the Navy SEALs and something like there's something about this dude that reminds me of something like Batman, some like mixed with a Navy SEAL somehow. And then that right now I'm sort of like down with health issues, and I'm just sort of like I have like all day, and I'm in psychiatry and I'm on early retirement, so I need something to like work on, and it's something like I need some sort of like activity and something that I can like try and like make sense of and learn some stuff and hopefully get some stuff done. And it doesn't matter if it like makes money or even if it like gets done or it gets good or anything, or like it's more something like just something like have something like to do when I get up in the morning, to something like try and make a video game. uh, and then that I think that that these are like I said, these somehow I feel like life is very harsh, and something like you could say everything is cursed, and that life is very difficult, and we're surrounded by, you could say, corruption and death and nihilism. And I want to like explore that through art, because this sort of like world this Dark Crusader lives in, where like hell is just around the doorstep. I feel like somehow the world we live in is that way. And then of course I'll watch a movie and go for a walk, talk to some friends to something like feel better. But I feel like the fundamental world we live in is rather bad, and something like nihilism, and something like ultimately everybody grows old and dies and stuff like that. And and then that I find something like technology and something like what people like do, you could say progress, but for instance movies and so on, but in a sense what people talk about. And in a sense you could say there's newspapers, there's all kinds of stuff, but in a sense video games are also, they perhaps have a message, or they talk about stuff, and in a sense video games are a way of contributing, but also something like saying how you feel, or like something like starting debates or questions, and in a sense helping other people. And then finally that I just I'm in a sense you could say that I'm looking for something like perhaps of a career, but more something that I can say I've done some stuff that I can talk to my friends and perhaps my family about, but some sort of like career, or something that I can feel like when I'm at home I'm just much working on something, or I have my own business, or perhaps more importantly that I have like I'm involved with some interest and hobbies, where I'm just sort of like doing stuff and getting through the day in a way that that in a sense feels like work, but that also just helps me like find friends, and so like be involved with nice communities and good people around the world, and so like to have fun and stuff like that. So that's sort of like what I hope to achieve with this sort of like video game that I'm sort of like gonna start working on. I hope I make something like PlayStation 2 quality, because it's sort of like I'm one dude and I can't make more than that. And then that it costs a ton of money to like make video games, and it's very difficult to make some truly next level, next gen video games. It takes like thousands of hours just to like get something like really good quality. So and then I really enjoy something like learning technology and tech, and talking tech and sort of like nerdy stuff with people, and sort of like the latest innovations and some like the latest tech and rendering, and some like video games and computers and storytelling and lore and all kinds of stuff that I'm a fan of. I've been a fan of something like role-playing games since the early SSRI, like Champions of Kryn and Death Knights of Krynn and what were they called? The Westwood Saga and some like Eye of the Beholder even, and there was Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights and like all the way back I've been a fan of something like that. And then also video games like Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, and then something like strategy video games. And somehow these Dark Souls video games have a little bit of everything. Then they're really really cool, and I enjoy beating them myself. So like myself, there's like my favorite video game genre, like for sure right now. Then also like Dead Space. Dead Space was really cool. So I hope to make something like that, and that's sort of like that. I just need something to work on, and then perhaps something I can like show my friends and family so they can see I've been working on something and I'm alive and so on. So it's a bit like an excuse to like stay in contact with people and that sort of that. Thank you. Bye.